Hey, what's going on, world? It's me again, Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P.I.E.N. Another wonderful Saturday session of expression sessions with my beautiful co-host, the lovely Tim Kedia. That's it. That's all you got for us. That's it. She multitasking. She ain't gonna want me to tell y'all, but today's episode, we talking about training. You see how her eyes just cut over there? She working on something else so we can stream all over the place. YouTube and things like that on Streamlabs. So even as we're talking about training today, she'll be actually still be doing some training. So hopefully everybody had a blessed and wonderful Saturday. What's going on, Uncle Tony? What's going on, Mickey Lee? Oh, JJ cousin Mike. What's going on, man? What you got for us? Nothing? So we talking training today. We're gonna get into a few things, a few stories, video that I did or speech that I did with my Toastmasters group, some training that we're doing here as a husband and wife with our family and just with our business, and how training and how taking 3 steps to get your training set up and help you get to the level you want to get to in life. How's your Saturday, love? I see you rocking the nice fancy, Mr. P.I.E.N, Miss P.I.E.N sweatshirt.
Saturday is going great.
So you're a little bit more focused on what's going on over there on Streamlabs until you really get into the meat and potatoes of the show.
Not really. I think I'm just gonna get back to it another time so I won't be distracted.
Hey, Uncle Tony.
My Saturday is going all right. I can't complain.
Yeah. How did your couponing go?
Good.
Good.
They didn't have everything I was looking for, but yeah, that's cool.
Oh, okay. She kills a coupon game. I don't know if y'all keep up with that. Yeah, not keys to beauty, first class living, but she kills the coupon game out there. So anybody out there looking to save a few bucks, save a few dollars, men, trust me, it definitely makes it light on the pocketbook and blessings to the family. So any ladies out there, any men out there that's interested in saving a couple of bucks, learning how to coupon from a professional, first class living over here. She's got some training in that makes some deals happen. So
what's up, people? Wiggle.
No.
No, y'all don't want me in the stream?
No, we didn't.
Even if we didn't, it's too late. You in there now.
Okay, I guess I'll be in here then. Or I'm in here.
Can you at least wipe your mouth and then?
Now here comes Zachary.
Come back.
In training.
You want your
in training.
Seconds of fame? You want to make a debut? This is our Zachary.
This is our Zachary and Zaria. This is 4 out of the 7 of us.
Wait, is that? Oh, yeah.
She's like, wait,
right.
Aren't we the best?
This is a special moment because Zachary don't get on camera.
You really don't.
He talking about some help me, but he brought his cell phone here.
Right.
No,
anyhow,
y'all want to talk about training day?
Y'all want to talk about training?
Yeah.
Training.
So, what you gotta do is how you train is what you do is get those. If you want to be fast, I'm a faster. Probably not as fast as Usain Bolt, but.
Laugh out loud. Yes, indeed. It's definitely a family thing.
But you gotta get those honeys in.
So what training are you talking about?
What training are you doing to get faster?
Yeah, to get that.
Somebody's at the door.
What training are you telling us about? What are we training for? We training to run faster. Okay. So we gotta get our knees up like that.
Yeah.
What steps do we need to take?
Steps.
Yeah. Hey, Carly.
Sorry.
Just how we get down. This is life right now.
Household, I mean.
This is expression sessions, and we talking about training. You will not be able to prepare for what's going to happen, but you have to keep rolling with it. And if you have the training of being a parent with years of experience or a new parent, things gonna come up. I didn't think she was coming to after we finished the show. But I guess I didn't get that message to our daughter. So she's having a friend spend the night. First time ever. She's been asking for like a year and a half. And we're pretty particular about who we allow to come into our home, who you allow to stay in your home. You train up a child in the way they're supposed to go. So you're observant of their friends and their friends' family members, and you be careful who you let into your house. You know, we're training our kids the importance of that. Anyhow, we wouldn't allow her to have anyone sleep over for quite some time. So tonight she had somebody sleep over. I didn't remember to tell her after the show. So everybody just coming in. But hey, man, it's training. It's how it works out. But like my uncle said, laugh out loud. It's a family thing. And that's what we doing, man. We looking to train other families as we train ourselves on the importance of building that family unity, the importance of setting your own training regimen in place so you can figure out what your role or position is in the family or in life, but just training for the life that you say you want. And this is all part of it because I said I wanted this family dynamic, this family atmosphere, and this is what comes with it. So roll with us as we learn this train. Hey, what's going on, Baron? How you doing? It's one of my guys I served in Iraq with in 125.
Nice.
But today, what I want you to think about, what I want to talk to the people about is what are you training for? And I want to challenge you with that. I want to challenge you with writing down that question. What are you training for? When you think about your life and the direction your life is going and it's things that you say you want, what are you training for? Meaning, what do you want in life? What are you training for? If you want to become a pilot, you go to flight school. You learn how to fly an airplane. You want to become a police officer, you train to be a police officer, maybe running, push-ups, sit-ups. You go to the police academy. You train it. I am a speaker. I'm training to be one of the largest speakers. You know, you coupon. How did you get better? Training by doing it over and over again. So my question is, what are you training for? And the follow-up to that will be, how is your training benefiting you? You know what I'm saying? And we have 3 steps to talk to you about to help you get there if you don't got it.
Okay.
She wasn't prepared for that. But how did I come up with this? 2 weeks ago when I went for the walk with my friend over at Brushy Creek, when I got that phone call and I told her, can't say the name, you know who I'm talking about.
Your friend.
Yeah. Anyhow, when I went
Okay.
to the park, we were talking, and as we were sitting there taking a break on the bench, another gentleman came up. His name was Bill, and I had my rucksack on, doing my Rug Day Suck Day. Shout out to Rug Day Suck Day, day number 22. If you're not keeping up, we at 22 of this 30-day journey of Rug Day Suck Day. Already got the next 30 days in mind. Anyhow, we was out there on Rug Day Suck Day part 2. And we were taking a break at a bench. What's going on, Clarence, brother? Thanks for joining, man. We're taking a break on the bench. And a gentleman named Bill walked up and he asked me, what was I training for? And I'm like, what do you mean? What am I training for? And I was kind of offended, to be honest. Like, why do I have to be training for anything because I'm wearing this rucksack and I'm walking? Why I just can't want to be healthy? But I guess it's odd to see somebody walking around with a 40-pound backpack if you're not training for nothing. If you're not going no obstacle course, if you're not finna go hiking, you're not finna take like the I don't know, the Oregon Trail,
something.
The Oregon Trail, like the video game. You don't remember that? Shout out to my people that was graduating elementary school in like '89. You know Oregon Trail, the game. You had to get the little feeders. Anyhow, you wearing this. You wearing this backpack, but you're not training for anything. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like how I took it. Like, why do I have to be training? And he was probably thinking, you wearing this backpack, you got to be training for something. Mm-hmm. And in that moment, I'm like, I'm not training for anything. I'm just training for life. I'm training to be healthy. Like, because I was offended. Like, why it's got to be that? And anyhow, we went on to have a good conversation as we continued to walk on the trail. And like 2 days later, when I was out one morning doing my rucking, and I was thinking to myself, and I was praying, talking to God, and I'm like, what am I training for? Why am I doing this? Why am I wearing this rucksack? Why am I setting this 30 days? What am I training for? What's the point of this? And it came to me such as, now you and I both know I've set plenty of goals. Mm-hmm. And you and I both know I failed at plenty of goals too. Now, failure ain't final, but it will, for the sake of the negative fail, let's just say I didn't obtain the goals that, I'm going to keep it real. I failed some goals. I didn't get them done, okay? I didn't get them done.
Okay.
Anyhow, with the rucking, I said to myself, if I could just train myself to do this for 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
They say it takes 21 days to create a new habit. I figured if I could train myself to do this for that 21 days or create that new habit for that 30 days, then I could start to obtain my goals on a regular basis. Not that I'm doing super bad, but I know that I could be doing much better if I would just begin to train myself, such as rucking was easy because I have 15 years training in rucking. You know what I'm saying? Even though I've had a break, it's like riding a bike. You ride a bike for 10 years, you take a 10-year break. After you get back on it for 5 or 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? It comes back to me. So rucking was a way for me to stay on top of my training. And the more I ruck, the more I would think and talk to myself prayer. And I'm like, no, I'm not training for health. I'm training for life. I'm training to be more disciplined, more consistent. I'm training to, the rucking is making me wake up at a certain time, push myself to do it even when I don't feel like it. When the weather is bad, I get out there anyhow. And we think of great athletes. We think of great entertainers. We think of great parents. And it's how do you do it? It's by training. And the way you do that, I believe, is doing it over and over again. As I stated earlier, some people say it takes 21 days to create a new habit. So if you train for 21 days, you have a new habit. Well, I don't know that that's necessarily true. I guess it depends on the person. And according to that article I read in Forbes, it says that that's a myth, but we'll get into that. So that was how I came, with the training aspect. And, what do you think about that? I know I said a lot, but
it's almost as if your 30-day rucking is a metaphor or maybe a visual of how training looks, because you set a goal for yourself and then you put a plan of action in and now you're doing it. So although you didn't set out, you didn't say, this is my training day per se, it's almost like it's a metaphor. I don't know. Like, I don't know if because you aren't specifically training for something like the guy asked you in the park,
like in a physical sense.
Yeah. So do you see the rucking as a mental?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely rucking for me is more mental, because when you carry in a pack, and for anybody that don't know what rucking is, shout out to anybody in the Army, all my 11Bs, 12Bs, soldiers, period, or anybody that backpack or hike. Rucking is, in the Army, we carry a huge backpack. It's called a rucksack. And when you go on a march, it's called rucking. You walking, but we just call it rucking. And most of the time in the infantry, you probably got at a minimum a 35, 40-pound pack. And that's what a regular, kit, pants, kit, helmet, sleeping bag, something like that. And when you're rucking, it can become a pain in the neck, and your lower backs get sore, your shins get sore, your knees get sore, your ankles get sore, you get out of breath. You have little spots where it's not a lot of cushion at, and it's digging in your back, and the weight is just heavy, like it's annoying. You know what I'm saying? But as you continue to do it throughout your training in the military, you forget about the weight, and you just kind of focus on this walking. And it's kind of just like in that moment, for me, I was always on this journey by myself. Even though everybody else was here walking, I had to focus and train my mind just to keep putting one foot in front of the other. Not think about the weight of the rucksack. Not think about it digging into my back. Not thinking about my feet feeling like they about to fall off. Not thinking about my shins throbbing. That's why I would tell you, when me and my guys would be out training, we would be out rucking, I would be like, 12 more miles. 12 more miles. They're like, well, it's only a 12-mile march. But yeah, the minute you get to looking at, you only have 2 miles left. The minute your training lacks off, your training takes a break. And so for me, rucking, and even wearing my dog tags, I don't even wear these anymore.
Right.
Now that I'm rucking, it's put me back in the mindset of, okay, we're in the military mindset. And in the military, my training for life was totally different than my separation from the military.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm back training and figuring out how to be a good husband and father, that part, I had to go back to the structure. Rucking was part of the structure. Rucking, what I thought was I was just doing to walk, to challenge myself. Could I carry it? I didn't know if to challenge myself, can I carry the load mentally? Can I carry the training regimen it's going to take mentally for us to be the couple that we supposed to be, the couple that people prophesied over us, the couple that God prophesied over us. I know that it's on us to do, but I know that I carry a large part of that. So rucking was like building the training for life. And that's my, what are people training for? What are you training for in your marriage? What are you training for with your kids? Like when we talked about with parenting, what are you showing them? What are you doing? So that's what rucking is for me. Like,
so it's like I said, it's almost like a metaphor, because when you set a plan in place that you want to train for, or you set a goal in place that you want to train for, you're going to get those things just like the rucksack that are going to be irritating and uncomfortable. And you're going to have to mentally prepare your mind to continue your goal, because even after day 21, you can still have a moment where you're like, this is just something. I know I said this is where I want to be, but this is not how I wanted it to look, or this is not how I thought it was going to look. And you have to mentally be prepared to continue your journey
Nicole,
on. I think that rucking,
hey, Miss Nicole,
can be a metaphor for life, because we may not physically put on a pack, but we physically put our day on, our life on. And when it gets uncomfortable, you on your way to work and your car break down. This was not part of the plan. You have all these things that come up. You set a goal, and you got this money funding coming in, and then it just all of a sudden the bottom drops out of it. Like it's like rucking. You put on your rucksack every day, and you have to mentally prepare yourself to get to the goal, to get the journey fulfilled. So,
and that's why I said for me, I was training for life, because you're right. One morning when I was rucking, I was talking about that in the video. It's not about this pack. I'm talking about throw that weight on your shoulder of your car broke down yesterday. Throw that weight on your shoulder of your husband walked out. Throw that weight on your shoulder of your wife walked out, that your kid got kicked out of school. And it doesn't even have to be all bad. You can throw the weight on your shoulder of me just getting my associate's degree. You can throw the weight on your shoulder of getting a $5,000 raise at work. How do you throw that on your shoulder and walk it out? Because you don't want to get so focused on that problem or that circumstance or that situation. You know what I'm saying? And then you get stuck there. Just like you can get stuck in, oh my God, my wife walked out. What am I going to do? Well, you got to walk it out. You got to carry the weight. You got to ruck it out to me. Oh my God, I just got a $5,000 raise. Now I'm about to go out and party. No, you got to ruck it out. You got to carry it out the weight and that responsibility of getting $5,000 now.
Right.
You're responsible for that. So for me, that's what rucking is. It's about taking life and its issues and training my mind to say, no matter what the weight is, no matter what the pack is, I'm going to be able to walk it out.
Yeah.
And I think you do that for me is by having my spirituality right with God and having my openness and communication right with you. It's like training myself to be more open. You know what I'm saying? Training myself not to be so defensive and be more offensive.
Absolutely.
Not feeling like everything is to attack me. So it's like, what are you training for in life? What are you training for? What you say you want? We said we want this. We've been talking about a podcast. We were blessed to start with Thomas. Now we're back at square one at our own home, with laptops set up and phones set up. We're training to go bigger. You start with where you at, but what are you training for? What are you looking to get to? So yeah, rucking is like that for me. It's definitely a metaphor. And I think people have to find what works for them in their training. I think it's, I don't know.
Give us some steps. I mean, what does it look like?
I think it's really 3 simple steps. It's kind of like you assess the situation in your life. You assess the situation. There's 3 steps. You assess the situation, you make a decision, and you take action.
Sounds pretty simple.
Assess. It's not. Here's the thing. And I'm gonna be honest with you. The decision to change your life will be the easiest decision you ever make in your life. The decision to change your life will be the easiest decision we ever make in our lives. Now, where the fun comes in at, when you go to change your life, it's the walking it out part that hurts. I decided that I wanted to be back here sitting with my wife and being a good husband and a good father. But the walking it out, living in my sister's basement, the walking it out, sitting down with you and having those real conversations, the walking it out of being rejected by my son. Oh, that wasn't easy at all. But telling God, Lord, I want my family back. If you just bless me, I'll do right. I trained my mind to say all that. But then when that work came, was you ready to ruck it out? Right. See, that's where the affirmations came in at. That's where the prayer came in at. That's where the schedule came in at. Training myself that no matter what she said, no matter what anybody else said, I'm going to stick to the script. I'm going to stick to the plan. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So how you do that? You assess the situation. What is the situation in your life? I'm in a bad relationship. What is the situation in your life? Financially, I'm struggling. What is the situation in your life? My car is having problems. What is the situation in your life? Your mother is still attempting to control your life. You are assaulted by your father. You know, you're assaulted by your brother. What is the situation that's holding you back? What is that hurt? What is that pain? What have you been trained to hold on to? What have you been trained to believe that you were not enough because of the situation? Yes. So assess the situation, whatever the situation may be, and make a decision. Make a decision. I decided that I am not going to be a deadbeat father. I'm going to be a good father to all 5 of my children. How do I do that? I start training myself by just talking to my kids. However much it hurt. If it was 5 minutes, we got 5 minutes. If it was 10 minutes, we got 10 minutes. We got to that point by just continuing to talk and build up on it. I started telling myself, let me be the one to act out and reach out for this relationship. Let me be the one to train myself to go after the things that I say I want. Let me show my children. So I made a decision and I started acting on it to get a stronger relationship with God. I made a decision to read my Bible, to get healthier. I made a decision not to eat meat. I acted on it. You know what I'm saying? Yes. I acted on it. Made the decision, then you take the action. I took the action. I set a schedule. That's the most simple thing I can tell you for taking the action. Set a schedule and begin to follow that schedule. If you could just set a schedule and begin to follow that schedule. And I think those 3 simple steps, assessing a situation in your life, making a decision about what you want to do, train yourself for this, and then take action. And how do you take action? You take action by setting a schedule, training yourself to conform to that schedule every single day. Like the Bible even says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be renewed by the transforming of your mind. Only way you're going to renew and transform anything is to train yourself to do something different. Right. Assess the situation, make a decision, take action. That was a lot. I'm going to take a break. I need some water. You go ahead. You go ahead. You asked me, so I had to deliver.
No, that's good stuff because people want to know, how do you do it? Like you said, it's easy to make the decision, but getting from making it to actually walking it out is where it gets tough. And like you said, as you put your pack on, you know, you have to mentally be prepared for it. And I think sometimes we are afraid to see someone, to talk to somebody about certain things we go through. Now, if you have somebody that you consider wise counsel, I think it's a good idea to talk to somebody.
Do you hear that? Wait. Say that again.
What? I think it's a good idea to talk to somebody.
But who?
Wise counsel.
Absolutely.
Don't just talk to anybody.
There's a difference between advice and counsel. Yes. I had to learn because sometimes Ethan Smith, aka Mr. P.I.E.N, is giving you his advice, which don't mean nothing. And sometimes I'm giving you some counsel because it's something that I've been through and I've grown through. I'm sorry, go ahead, babe.
No, that's good stuff because sometimes we don't know the difference. We go to people for advice, and although they may be well-meaning, it's not wise counsel.
They're not trained in the environment they're trying to give you advice on.
Absolutely. So it end up hurting you instead of helping you along. So I would go to someone who's where you want to be, or someone you can trust with, you know, your situation. And then from there, come up with a plan of action. How are you going to get from where you are now to where you want to be? Does it look like I need to read a book? Does it look like I need to work a second job or pick up a side hustle if finances is my issue? Does it look like I don't know.
No, that's good. That's real good because you're going over what I said, assessing the situation.
Yes.
Write this down, man, and I need you to share this video with somebody. Assess the situation. When we talking about training here, we talking about you beginning to take responsibility for your life, to have a life that you say you want, only by the training that you put in. So 3 things that'll help you get there. You assess the situation. What's the situation? Your life, your car breaking down, your marriage, school, whatever the situation may be. Be real with yourself. Assess the situation. Make a decision on which way you want to go. Here's the thing. You might say school is too hard right now and decide to quit. If you're going to quit, then quit for that moment. Leave. Find something else to focus on. Make a new decision to change whatever this issue is in your life. If it's, hey, school is really breaking me down, I can't do this right now, I made a decision to quit. Make that decision, quit, be okay with it. Now you need to take action. And what else am I going to do since I quit? You kind of got to multi-step that thing. I'm quitting school, I made a decision, but then I'm going to follow up with this. Same thing, and you take action, just as you were saying. You know, you have to look at the entire situation and see what it is before.
And if you can't do the school, why not? Is it something
good.
that you feel like you need to get more training in, or the class is hard because you need more study skills? Like, assessing the situation is taking a step back, looking at, why am I not able to move forward with this thing right now in this moment? Is it because I need to talk to someone? Is it because I need to get a tutor? Is it because I need to get wise counsel? Is it because I need to save up if my car broke down and I don't have the money? Do I need a side hustle? Do I need to ask my boss for more hours? Like, what is the plan of action to get you going, and then take action on it? Because you can have the best plan in the world, but if you don't put any fire to it, if you don't put your feet to it, if you're not doing nothing with it, it's just a plan. It's not really going to get you from where you are to where you desire to be.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's absolutely right. It's a quote in the Think and Grow Rich book. You know, most people say knowledge is power. And I think it's a quote, and I'm going to butcher it a little bit because I don't remember it. It's a quote in the Think and Grow Rich book about knowledge being power, and that's fine and great. But if you have that knowledge and you're not applying that power, then it's no good. If you're not taking any action, it's like I heard the speaker that I follow on Instagram, who I like, Dr. Joe Johnson. And he said, and Eric Thomas has kind of said this same thing, like, what's the point of reading all these books if you're not implementing and applying any of the stuff that you read? What's the point of making the decision to have a better relationship with your kids if you're not going to sit down and talk to your kids? We train ourselves for the life we gonna have by the things that we do and the things that we speak out. Like, I knew that getting up, walking every day, rucking was gonna change my life in some shape, form, or fashion. I knew that just being out there, you know, you have to do something. When you start training, something has to change. If you do push-ups every day, if you walk every day, something's going to change. Right. You're training yourself. So when you go to work, you've already trained yourself. You go to work, you punch in, you sit down, you do your business. You know what I'm saying? That's what you've trained yourself for. And my question is, what are you training yourself for in life? And like we talked about, if you have not decided what you want in life, that's fine if you don't know. It took me till I was almost 40 to figure it out. But when you figure it out, and you make a decision on what you're going to do, you have to act on it. And this is a part of acting on it. Right. And everybody goes through that ugly point. Like my wife said, if it's your finances, if your relationship, we go through some of those same things: financial conversations, relationship conversations, car conversations. We go through some of that same thing. And the next thing she's saying, okay, babe, so what we going to do? When we paying this? How we going to pay this? That's taking action. Right. You have to do something. You know what the situation is. It ain't always pretty, but you have to do something. And how you consistently, I believe, start to make the right decision, or make not even a right decision, make a better decision for you, as you begin by training your mind that you can get through whatever the situation may be. Putting yourself in difficult situations may hurt physically, but mentally, it helps you grow. Putting myself in a rucking situation, that hurt physically.
Yeah.
But mentally, it helps me grow. What do you think? What do you think?
About what?
Anything. You got your notes over here. What you got? She like, I don't need my notes. I'm extemporaneous because we just in the kitchen in the conversation having a, we in the living room.
Right.
So you don't need your notes. Okay, cool. I don't know.
Well, my notes just wrote down what we said. And I know that the holidays is coming up. And I know that sometimes some people, you may have loved ones that are no longer here, and sometimes it may take you to a place of sadness. And I don't know. I just want to encourage people to maybe go over a friend's house or another family member's house and be amongst people that love you and that can love on you, because oftentimes we feel like, we're going through this by ourselves. We lost a loved one and, nobody understands what we're going through, and, may feel depressed. And that could be that's far from the truth. There are lots of people who love you and want to love on you. And you probably have gotten many invites to go to a friend's or family member's house. And I would just, suggest that you do that just so that you can get that love and support. And it's one of those things that you have to train yourself to do, because it's not always easy when you in a state of feeling sad. And I lost my brother personally, and it's been over 10 years. So I'm okay on the holidays, but there were times when I first lost him, I would feel like the holidays just aren't the holidays without him. But the more I assess my situation of, I'm sad, I want him here, I want him to share this moment with me, but I had to take a plan of action. I had to get out and go to those invites I kept turning down year after year. I'm gonna get out here and I'm gonna have a good time, or the best time that I can have, because these people invited me because they care about me. They invited me because they want to love on me, and I allowed them to do that so that I can heal. And now I have great holidays with my husband, with my kids. And do I miss my brother sometimes? Absolutely. But it's not that sadness of nobody understands, nobody knows what it's like. That's not true. People lose loved ones every single day. And it's not to discredit your sadness, but I just I don't know, I have a heart for people. I don't want you to be at home sad. If you could go somewhere and get some love and some support to support you through the loss. And if you need to take 30 minutes to an hour and grieve that thing, cry about it, punch a pillow, however you grieve, journal, however you grieve, please take that time to grieve, because grieving is a natural thing, it's a healthy thing, and it helps us to release the things that sadden us, the things that bother us. So I would say, however you grieve, do schedule some time to grieve, take some time to grieve, but don't stay there so long that you don't get to enjoy the holidays. Because I used to tell myself, if my brother was here, he would not want me to be sad during Thanksgiving, Christmas, his birthday. He would not want that for me. And so I had to tell myself that I have to take myself to a place where I can be okay, because he's gone, he's not coming back. And it doesn't change the fact that I love him. I don't love him any less. I'm just allowing myself to go on in a healthier way. So I don't know, around the holiday time, I get this, my heart feels for people, and I hear them talking about the loss they've had. Their mom is gone, a sibling, an aunt, their favorite grandma. Like, it's nothing wrong with grieving. Their favorite grandma. That one. She cooked for you. She sat down, listened to you. She took you places. She schooled you on life. The grandma, the one. You don't have. Okay. Well, anybody who knows. Anybody who knows.
I don't know that. I had a grandma, and some of my cousins and my brother might have had that, but I don't. But I got you. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I didn't personally have it either, but I hear about people having it. Okay. I can relate, because it was just me and my brother. So with him being gone, it leaves me by myself. I don't have any other siblings. So I can't relate to the grandma story, but I hear so many of them. I'm just like, wow, that's great. And loss is loss. You lose your best friend, you lose, like I said, your grandmother, your father, your mother, your brother, that stuff does hurt, because you thought or you perceived in your mind you was gonna have this person for X amount of time, and then they're gone unexpectedly, and now you're left to deal with your feelings about it. So
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So I would just encourage people, if they are or if they have gone through a loss, to please accept maybe one invite. You don't have to overdo it, just one invite, and let them love on you, and let them really help you through this season, this time, because the enemy will tell you that nobody understands and you're all by yourself, and what are you going to do now? You're going to live past this moment. You're going to grieve it out, because it's healthy, it's normal. It's the right thing to do, so that you don't hold it in and now you're angry. And you're going to live. You're going to make a plan of action of how that looks for you, how you grieve, assess your situation. I'm sad. I miss that person. Make a plan of action, journal it out, scream it out, box it out, however you get your stress out.
Bing. Not for me either.
However you get your stress out. Deal with it.
She still hit me low.
And then
sit down.
And then take a plan of action. Accept that invite. Go have some turkey. Eat that macaroni and cheese. I'm just saying, the greens, the yams.
Potato.
I mean, I'm just saying, don't deprive yourself of the love and the fellowship.
Here's what I was thinking. You touched on some good points about training and going to see people during time of grief and things like that, and getting out the house. I like to believe, and I'm gonna play devil's advocate, hypocrite myself, contradict myself. I'm just gonna have fun with this.
Okay,
hear me out. Why do you believe that? You looking like, okay, where we going with this? No, because I want to say something about both sides. Yeah, I might contradict myself or sound hypocritical. I'm cool.
Okay.
Anyhow, you were talking about get out, go see people, don't stay by yourself, don't stick to yourself, right? I think people do those things because in some families, in some situations, in some ethnic groups, it's a part of your training. It's a part of your upbringing not to express grief, not to express emotion, not to cry for so long. Ain't nothing wrong with you, boy. Sit down, be quiet. Your grandma had to die. It was time for her to go. Now you gonna sit down and shut up somewhere. She gonna want to see you crying like this. You know what I'm saying? You were trained not to cry. You were trained that when I want to have an emotional moment, I can only have it for as long as my mother gonna accept it. I can only have it for as long as my husband gonna accept it. So if I want to grieve, I have to go off and be by myself. That's why I'm not going to the parties, because everybody gonna want to ask me, how'd you feel about your brother? You really don't want to know how I feel about my brother. You just want to ask the question because he died around his holiday time. But if I need to go in and grieve, most people are not. I'm just
sorry. That was pretty funny.
Right. I'm just saying. Most people are not going to do that, because how long is someone going to stand around and be there to support you and comfort you? So I think the reason that people don't go out maybe when they're invited sometimes is because subconsciously they were trained not to express their emotions or not to express their feelings. You know what I'm saying?
But we talking about training. And even though that may be so, if you want healing from that thing, you have to do something different to get different results.
Absolutely.
Maybe you don't go over that family member or that friend's house who's going to be critical. Now we back to wise counsel, wise people around you. The people that love you and rock with you. The people that you can go to if you need a dollar or eat or something. And those people. And if you don't, it's time to build a new circle, because people are out here who want to love on you and who want to shatter those old myths and things that you were brought up in. It's like you were saying about you don't have the grandmother story, and neither do I. But that doesn't stop me from loving on people if I can. It doesn't stop me from trying to heal my own self, because I've seen plenty of, or had plenty of things said where you just like, you just have to take it. You can't, you can't be acting out like that. But this is my life and I'm grown now. So in order to take responsibility for my heart problems, my heart issues, I have to do something different. This is training. I have to train myself now to get the healing that I need, be it counseling, be it being around friends and family that love me, taking myself to a movie, self-care, whatever that looks like for you. You can escape the old training that you may have endured through life up until this point. There's a way of escape. You don't have to be trapped in, your upbringing. You don't have to be trapped in what happened to you. You don't have to be trapped in the rucksack of life. You can set it down sometimes, because this is training. You know what I'm saying? So am I saying it's going to be super easy? You just go to that party and the things is going to be changed? No, you go one at a time. You go out the house one day at a time. This year, it might go great. Next year, you might be a hot mess. That's okay. It's training. We learn it. The following year, you do something different. You keep on doing something different until you find what works for you.
What I'm gathering in that then, what I'm gathering that is what you're saying is it doesn't matter what your training was. You can put in a new program.
Absolutely.
So it doesn't matter what your training was. And I get that, because when I was younger, I remember going to funerals of people older in my life and things like that. And that was just what you did. And as I got older, I don't go to funerals. They don't scare me. They don't bother me. And honestly, I don't feel nothing. Like it's a few people that passed away in the military, maybe a family member or two, if I was close to them.
Right.
If I wasn't close to them, I don't feel nothing like that, because I understand that this is a part of life.
Absolutely.
I've been trained to understand that this is a part of life. And then with my training and my time in the military, I know it can be gone in the blink. So even though as a child, I'm like, train, you go to funerals, you show your respect or whatever, regardless if you got to grieve or not, that was you did. But as I got old, I'm like, no, I'm not doing that, because that don't work for me. I don't want to go there and be crying and boo-hooing and listening to that when I feel like you should be celebrating that person's life. I don't want to be doing this. You know what I'm saying? That's just for me. But anyhow,
it's like you mentioned earlier.
Make a choice.
You have to renew your mind. You have to come up with the new programming for yourself.
Clarence said trauma can take root in our hearts.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The matters of our heart are things we really have to unpack. You got on the rucksack of life, from childhood to your teen years to your 20s. I don't know where you are in life, but you have on a rucksack of life. And that stuff
it's only your training that's going to get you out of it.
Absolutely. That stuff does. And it can be rooted in your heart. That's why you have angry people. That's why you have people who are vindictive. That's why you have people who have this vicious cycle of just doing the same thing over and over and over. And it's not producing the results that they want because of the matters of our heart, and we have to unpack that stuff. We have to come up with a plan of action, assess the situation. I want to be here. I want to be over there, but I keep ending up here. That's my assessment of my situation. Now, my plan of action is I need to be doing something different. So do I need to go talk to somebody? Do I need to read a book on it? Do I need to research? Do I need to get more knowledge on this thing? Do I need to undo programming that has been given to me? Because I think that a lot of times our trauma does come from something someone may have said, and it's impacted us all these years. Like you said in the beginning about, I'm not good enough. Now I feel like I'm not good enough, and I may not take on a new venture at work, or I may not try something new or go after what I want in life because I am still under that old programming because somebody said something to me. So I truly believe that the matters of our heart are rooted in trauma. But there comes a point, if you want to be free, you have to unpack it. You have to get to a point where you come up with a plan to get from where you are to where you want to be, because ultimately the trauma is holding you back from the best version of you. You won't go after, like I said, your dreams or take that journey, because you always remember the trauma or the traumatic things that have happened to you. And I just believe that, you know, there is a way to get that trauma out of your heart and get you to the best version of who you are. And it may take some time. And there's another
Thinking about
myth that I've heard that, you know, time heals all wounds. And I don't believe that. I believe that time plays a part, but if you don't put any action with that time, you're just going to be the same you next year that you are today, because you're not really doing nothing. You just letting time pass, but you don't have a plan of action to get you where you want to be. So I don't think that time heals all wounds. I think that a plan of action coupled with time will heal all wounds.
I agree.
Sometimes things happen overnight and you just healed from that thing. And sometimes it just takes us making a plan of action or staying with that thing long enough to get the healing. I said, I believe that grief is real. I believe that we should grieve some things, but we should also have a plan of action to get from grief to triumph. I don't want anyone to stay stuck in grieving their whole life that they miss the wonderful life they could be living. But I do think it's important to grieve. Schedule some time to grieve. Take an hour, take 30 minutes, scream, yell it out, write it out. I don't know. Everybody deals with trauma differently. Talk to someone and get wise counsel so that you can have a plan of action to move forward from where you are to where you'd like to be. Tag you it.
Oh no!
Because you was looking like you wanted to double.
I did, but I lost it. Now she want to let me in when I just sat back and got relaxed mode. You were talking about time and time healing all wounds, and I heard those things now, and that's why I said, did you steal that from me? Because I would say time don't heal all wounds. Like time, you know, it what's the word that you use? It plays a part in healing wounds. But if I cut my arm, it's gonna heal, but it's not gonna heal properly. You know what I'm saying? So if your marriage falls apart, if your car get wrecked, you know, the time you're gonna feel better, but it's not gonna just happen without you dealing with it, without you facing it. So it don't. Right. And here's another thing you kind of mentioned about time, you know, about I'll just say this about time and doing new things for your habits. We hear the 21-day thing, and I spoke about it earlier. It takes 21 days to create a new habit. And I truly used to believe that based off speakers that I heard. Trusting in God, he will lead you in the path that's suited just for you, but you have to have faith. Absolutely. That is the way, Uncle Tony. Absolutely. But it was saying, you know, 21 days to create a new habit. And I don't know that that's necessarily true. I was reading something in Forbes magazine, and some Dr. Jason Selk is what his name's, author, psychologist. He was saying that most people believe that that habits are formed in 21 days. It's like I've been rucking for 22 days. So a habit is something I habitually, you just do it without thinking about it. So does this mean that if I take a week off, I'll just automatically get up and go back to rucking again and it's going to be fine? You know, when they say it takes 21 days to form a new habit, maybe to take a shift in your mind. And he was saying that that's not true. That was all created from a self-assessment myth by a Dr. Mark Maylox that people interpreted wrong, but they wanted it so much for it to be true that they went with it, and it's not. And he was saying that the greatest way to get to the life that you want, the greatest way to change your life is not an amount of days. It's about doing something towards that every single day. Like greatness is something that's reached every day. It may not take you 7 days. It might take you 17 days. Like day 7 of rucking, I knew day 7, like something was different. I'm going to finish this 30 days. Like I knew something was different. I knew the day I went out on Veterans Day and it was like 28 degrees and rain. And I went out and rucked in the afternoon after being with my buddy. I knew something was different. So, oh, y'all see that? Y'all see that? You see, I got scared. I'm like, oh, let me put that back. Oh, my little sticky fell down. Let me see.
Scared us both.
Man, I wasn't prepared for that. My training didn't kick in. So if it fall again, now we know. Bloopers, reels, and wonderfulness. But anyhow, he was saying about the 21 days and how it takes 21 days. And it may not take you 21 days. I do believe you can quit cold turkey on some things because like Uncle Tony said, it takes trusting in God and having faith and having a made up mind. I said it earlier, making a decision is easy, but walking it out is the hard part. Right. It may not take you 21 days, but you could have been trained in your mind like I was to believe that it takes 21 days. Right. The children of Israel didn't believe that God was going to deliver them from Egypt. You know, and I know I'm going somewhere way off with this. He's like, what? And
Uncle Tony said that's a sign.
That's a sign.
When it fell down.
Oh. Good sign or bad sign? They say love is all we need. Like, we don't need no more, but we out of here. Pitch it down. But like it took them over 21 days, of 40 days, 40 nights, over 21 days of being in the wilderness. They weren't just like, all right, we good with this, God. They were still complaining and going through hard times. Like, it might not take that. And some people say they had a near-death experience. It's like, yo, I was drinking last night. I'm just done. No more. It don't take 21 days to know. Yes. It didn't take 21 days to figure out at certain stages in a relationship for you. You like, nah, done. It's a wrap. Right. And he was just saying that, becoming great and changing your life is a process that happens every day. It's something that you have to train yourself to do daily. We've been trained and programmed from the time that we were children, what to think, what to believe, what's right, what's wrong, how to feel. It's like we were talking earlier about having choices and what a person can do. I was trained, and maybe I trained myself to believe I do what I wanted to do in that moment. When I want to pull out, I pull out. Might have been bad to some people's eyes. I tell you, I'm going to be there at 3. I get there at 3:30. My training tells me I got a little grace period. For you, you might be like my military mindset. If you on time, you late. That's your training. You know what I'm saying? But if you push your opinion on me, I push my opinion on you, like you were saying earlier. No. When I say I'm doing this at Saturday, I'm committed. I'm trained myself to say, if I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there. But if I didn't train myself for that, then that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? That doesn't compute. And sometimes what you have not been trained for, what God didn't train you for, what he didn't plan you for, it doesn't go with what your mother is attempting to train you for, what your father is attempting to train you for, what your husband is attempting to train you for, because it goes against the plan that God had for your life. And then it looked like you bucking the system. Like training, as my wife was saying earlier, you have to train yourself. When is enough time for grieving? When is enough time for getting by? When is enough time for moving on and carrying on? It's like, for example, you and your surgery. You have never done surgery before, so your mind was like, yo, I'm going to take all the time I need to get my body back to where I need to be. Right. I'm training myself for something different. When you lose somebody, you have to train yourself for something different. But if you don't take responsibility, if you don't train yourself, like Dr. Jason Phelps said, if you don't train yourself for greatness every day, if you don't train yourself to follow a schedule or implement a plan for your life to go somewhere, if you don't train yourself for that, then nothing ever changes for you.
Absolutely.
Regardless to what advice or what counsel you get, if you don't do it, it don't happen.
That's true.
It really don't. So, and I know I'm going back to earlier, and somebody could have missed it when I opened up the video and I talked about the guy Bill asking me what was I training for when I was rucking out at the park. Like, I'm training for life. I knew that rucking was something that was hard, but I also knew that it was something that I could do. I had did this before, and it can help build so many things. It's like I'm always talking to you about my schedule, because I know with a schedule, Anybody that's getting successful in life has trained themselves based off some type of schedule, some type of routine, some type of regimen, some type of consistency. And that's what's important. And you have to train yourself to be a better husband. You have to train yourself to be a better wife. You have to ask God to train you, and he'll show you the signs. And when he shows you, you have to know that all the training that you go through is not meant to tear you down or rip you apart. And you also have to know that all the training that you go through is not going to be lovely. It's not going to be nice. It's not going to be comfortable. Quiet is kept, loud is said. Most of the training that you go through to become better in your life is going to suck.
Call it growing pain.
Yeah. Ain't nothing growing about it. Not mentally,
feel like it, right?
Mentally you growing, but by the time you realize that pain ain't been so bad physically and emotionally, you ain't thinking about it's just a growing pain. No, you like it sucks. I'm not trained to be like it's just a growing pain. No, it is. That's exactly what it is. But you get to train yourself for those things, I mean, you just do. Like what we doing right now. This is all part of training for one day you sitting on your own talk show or interviewing people and things like that. It's all part of training. And regardless to what anybody say, what faith or denomination you believe in, regardless to anyone say, whatever you feed yourself, or as Eric Thomas or Tony and Tony Robbins said, where your focus goes, your energy flows. So what you train on, what you focus on. If I go to the gym and I train chest and biceps, they're gonna be big. That's just what it is. If I go outside the house and I go chasing after women, or I go car racing, you know what I'm saying? Or I go couponing. If I train myself to do that, I'm gonna become better at it. If I tell myself I can't lose this weight, and I sit down on the couch, I train myself not to lose weight. I train myself to be unhealthy. You are the key to your success. You are the fuel that ignites the fire. You are the miracle. You are loved. You are valuable. You are the masterpiece. You have to train your mind to understand that. When I talk to my kids at night, and I ask my wife, we do it as a family. When my kids go to bed at night, they pray and we have our affirmations. And I'm training my kids to say this is, with God, all things are possible. I can do anything I put my mind to. Nobody's smarter than me. And it's not just about the religious aspect of with God being all things are possible. It's about understanding and training your mind that not only with God, all things are possible. I can do anything I put my mind to, even though I know God is there. If I don't believe that I can do it, if I don't train my mind to do it, then I won't do it. And if I don't tell them that nobody's smarter than them, they go around thinking that Steve Jobs is greater than you because he created the iPhone. You go around thinking that Mark Zuckerberg is greater than you because he created Facebook. You go around thinking that your mother's better than you because she's bought 3 houses and you only bought 1, or you've never bought 1. No, nobody's smarter than you. They just have different information. How did they get that information? They trained themselves in the way that you possibly didn't train yourself to possess the information that you need.
Absolutely.
Go.
Tag on it.
So you got to JBY that thing. The best way to get the training in life for you is to JBY, just to be yourself. Don't think about the 21-day rule to habit. Set it in your mind how long it's going to take you. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision, make it plain. Write the vision. The good man, plots his ways and God orders his steps, or something like that. You got to give God something to work with. What is that? That's training. That's training yourself to trust God. That's training yourself to have faith. How do you do that? You just be you. The more you just be you, the more you discover who you are, the easier it is, or the easier it becomes to train yourself to hear God's voice, to train yourself to hear Buddha's voice, Allah's voice, whatever your spiritual deity is, to train yourself to hear that voice that wants the best for you, to hear that voice that wants to help you walk through grief, to hear that voice that helps you walk through sadness. Train yourself that when that job fires you, when your husband walk out, when When you win the $1 million, the $3 million, train yourself how to deal with that, because I don't know anyone personally, but it's people that's won 90, 100 millions from the lottery and was never trained how to use money or properly understood it, and they was broke. So I don't want to just give you doom and gloom. My husband left, my wife left, the dog dead. No, it's somebody out there that went from broke to being rich or being wealthy and went back to broke again because they didn't properly train themselves to live in a new environment. Absolutely. That's like you move out of the hood to the suburbs and you bring your same hood tendencies and you wonder why they tripping on you. No, you didn't train yourself to live in the environment that you decided to be in.
Absolutely.
You in this life, you didn't have no say so on how you got here, but you here now. You get to choose how you live this life by the training that you implement in your life. Peace, Instagram. We gonna be back because you got to cut us off. We still here. Instagram, go.
I wonder what you was doing.
You got to share the. Share the.
Don't delete
cancel.
it.
No, I'm sharing the story.
Okay.
I didn't know Instagram do that after so long. It cut me off. I guess you only get an hour with live on Instagram. They're like, you talk too much. You done. We already done. We done trained ourselves to tune you out. You got to JBY, man. You got to just be you. You got to promote yourself. You got to sell yourself. You got to push yourself to be great. All that starts with training. I'm not just talking to you, man. I'm talking to me too. So you tuned into the conversation that me and my lovely wife normally have. It's all a part of training. It's all a process. You can do anything you put your mind to. Nobody's smarter than you, family. The minute you start to train yourself to believe that, the minute you start walking that thing out, that's when things in your life change. This t-shirt brand hoodie idea, this stuff came along so long ago, but I wasn't trained to believe I could get it done. I thought it was so hard and so difficult. But the more I talked about it, the more I wrote it down, the more I recited it, God started putting people in my place in front of me in my path to make my vision become a reality. Why? Because I trained myself to believe that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I can do anything I put my mind to. I believed in me, regardless to what anyone else said. And that starts with training and breaking down, as my wife said, training that may have been instilled in your life. You have to tear down the walls and the barriers that's stopping you from breaking through. It's the 3 simple plans. Assess the situation in your life. What is the circumstances? And next, what do I want to do? How do I want it to change? Make a decision. And then put that in action. Walk it out, set a schedule, and go after it. And don't stop until you obtain what you want, which is the change in your life by training. And then it's like, it's a seed. It grows off into your kids, and now they see the process, and everybody wins. Okay.
Got that.
Everybody wins.
Got that.
Well, it's been another wonderful. Unless you got something, because I don't got nothing. We lost our music.
We lost it a long time ago. You just missed it.
Did you get to your notes? Because you're like,
yeah,
I
did.
Notes. Oh, okay. See, that's what it did to me last time when you were saying, I already got it on repeat. It was done playing, and I just had set it back up. My wife, she's so efficient. I had asked her, I sent her a text when I was out vibing this morning, walking, about looping our song in the background, and she had came home and had it done in no time. So again, we just talking about training, man. Don't be afraid to promote yourself. Don't be afraid to sell yourself. Don't be afraid to push yourself, man. We pushing ourselves every day to be better, and we don't always get it together. We don't always see eye to eye, but we've trained ourselves. It's not what you say to me, husband or wife, it's how you say it to me. And if we can sit down and we can talk about it and we can communicate about it and we can work out through anything. Train yourself for the relationship that you want with your wife and your children, man. You can have anything in this world that you desire. Trust me, I'm a living witness. My wife asked for this marriage 20 years ago. When she was like, all right, God, I guess that wasn't for me. He's like, nah, here you go. So sometimes you put training in, it don't come when you expect it to do. But you got to keep working for it, man, and know that his plans for your life is better than the plans that you could ever have for you. Your training will see you through. I am through. I did a rhyme and we done on time.
Hey, nah.
You got anything you want to close out with?
Nope. It's been another wonderful, beautiful night of expression sessions. We just want to encourage you to AYG, activate your greatness. PSP, promote, sell, and push yourself.
You gonna read it for us?
And to show up to blow up.
I don't have it memorized.
I know
yet.
I got you. I can see you read it. And to show up to blow up. And to, we got to get some training in here. See, look, I don't say my own stuff enough, so my wife like, let me read it. And to show up to blow up. You see this?
Fail. I'm
Epic fail. Training. Take the shirt off. Just take it off. The training is real. Also, I want to send a special thank you to Lori Martin, who gave us some great information about our website and also posted a picture of the hoodie that she ordered from us. So we want to thank you for purchasing the hoodie from us. As you can see, the Mr. P.I.E.N and the Miss P.I.E.N hoodie coming in soon one day. Not soon, because my wife gonna be like, oh, my husband didn't say it to the people. And she gonna be trying to sew them up tomorrow. But anyhow, thank you, Lori. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for sharing this message. Thank you, everyone, for training your mind, man. And my challenge to you is to ask yourself, what am I training for? And how is my training affecting my life? What am I training for? And how is my training affecting my life? And if what you are training for is not helping to affect your life or change your life in the direction that you want to go, then you need to start training for something else. Have a blessed and wonderful night, man. Good night, Uncle Tony. See you next time. It's your boy, Ethan Smith. I'm out.
Peace.
I know they still can see me. Wait, what about if you turn the mic off? They could just see me. I know they can hear me, right? See what I did? See? Peace.